I love YouTube so much, but my content is my own, and I want to make sure it stays that way. That's why I've built an amazing automation that goes out, grabs my YouTube videos, and stores them in various places such as Airtable, Notion, Google Drive, Trello, notifies my team and uses AI to let them know how they could promote my videos. And I'm also going to show you how to get all of your YouTube content into a vector database. Don't be scared by that. I'll explain it later in the video. This will allow you to create an AI chatbot so that people can chat with all of your YouTube content. Let's dive in. Okay, I'm using an AI-powered automation tool called N8N. You can find a link to it down below, by the way. And don't get overwhelmed. Let's break this down into parts. Oh, and by the way, if you're just worried that you'll have to recreate this, don't. If you go ahead and click the link down below and join my community, I'm giving away this template for free in there. Okie dokie. So what's going on at the start of my automation? Well, first of all, it's scheduled to run every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, it checks my YouTube channel to see if there's a new video. It does this by polling the YouTube API and looking to see if there was anything on my channel, this is my channel ID here, in the last 30 minutes. If there is a video, it then passes along the chain to grab the video's data. And then I call YouTube's caption API using these two blocks to download the whole transcript to my video, therefore meaning I have everything I've said stored inside a database, which is powerful. YouTube's caption API gives me a file, so I extract that file using this block, and then I use this block here to make things pretty by using regular expressions to trim out things like time codes and things that are generally not needed in the transcript. Okay, the automation looks good. Let's test it once to see if it finds a video. And it's going through and it has found a video, and as quickly as that, it's grabbed all the data and the transcript as well. You'll see, for instance, if I open the video data that we've got, yes, this is all the data of the video, including title, description, thumbnail links, and a lot more that I can use. And if I go to the Get Captions area over here, you'll see that, yes, it's found where the captions are and got them from the API. If I click Download here, I can actually open this file up and look at the plain text captions. See, yep, here it is. Lots of spaces and time codes, but don't worry because that is made pretty by going to my Make Pretty area, which takes all of this information and turns it into one long text block that I can put into my database for AI to use later on. Okay, with this successfully run for the first time, I'm going to go ahead and click these nodes and I'm going to pin them using the P key so that I don't keep hitting the API and wasting all my YouTube API credits to show you multiple times running this example. Okay, so zooming out and looking at the broader picture, you'll see we've got Airtable, an automation to put my video content into Airtable, which is a popular powered database to store things. Then we've got Notion, which is very, very popular, a good place again to archive my YouTube content. We've got Google Drive here, Trello, and some vector databases that we'll get into later on. So I'm going to go ahead and link this automation up to Airtable so we can see it in action. Okie dokie, and here's Airtable, and you'll see it's a blank database at the moment with no videos and no transcriptions in there. So I'm just going to close that back up again and I'll run the automation and see if it inserts a new record into my database. Going straight through, running the automation, everything is ticked, refresh, and there we go. We've got the wonderful video. We've got the description here, we've got the thumbnail attached, and we've even got a linked record. And this is the full transcript of my latest YouTube video, all inserted into Airtable. And it literally took us minutes to get that set up so we can archive our YouTube content. Pretty cool, huh? By the way, if you like what you see so far, throw a like and subscribe because I'm always doing tutorials just like this one. Let's delete the link to Airtable for the time being and link it up to my Notion automation. This one is very simple and easy to run, and you'll see I've got a Notion database. It's completely empty. Well, that is until I run my workflow. Let's do that. So it's running through, it's going to Notion, it's connecting via the API, and boom, look at that. As simple as that, my YouTube video is now backed up into Notion as well. And by the way, if I connect multiple nodes together like so, it'll do everything simultaneously. But I'm obviously showing you one by one in this video so you can see the power of automating a backup of all your YouTube content. Okay, let's go into good old-fashioned Google Drive. And you'll see I've created a sheet here. It's got the ability to add a thumbnail, YouTube ID, title, date, time, description, and transcript, all included. I've also got subfolders for descriptions and transcriptions, then connect up to my Google automation. Now, this one's a bit more complex because it's making a TXT file of the transcript. It's uploading that. It's creating a Google Doc with the description, and then it is going through to Google Sheets and storing all of that info right there, all in one place, one source of truth. Boom, it's going through, it's connecting, it's uploading things, it's making a Google Doc, and then it's inserting it here into, yes, you can see there, it's absolutely done it instantly inside Google Sheets. I've got a thumbnail here, I've got the YouTube ID, title, which is fully linked, date of publishing, the time, which is the duration of the video. Now, if I click these links, description will take me out to a document that's been made with the description of that video. Absolutely perfect. And if I click full transcript, it's a TXT file uploaded to my Google Drive with, yes, you guessed it, the full transcript of my video. Now, this is all well and good. I've got a very secure belt and braces backup of my YouTube content, but I work with a team and I need to let them know every time I put a video out there. And we use Trello to share that. You'll see I've got beautiful Trello boards here with all the YouTube videos that I've published. Now, I've set up an automation here that will again automatically publish my YouTube video, put the YouTube thumbnail as the cover of that card, and then use OpenAI's ChatGPT to suggest to my team some ways they could promote the video. Pretty clever. Let's run it. Into Trello, it's made a card, it's assigned my team members, added the thumbnail, and not only that, there's a comment on the card. And here it is in beautiful full screen. You'll see, yes, we've got the thumbnail, we've got the card members, we've got the description of the video, a link to the video, and down here I've commented at card, here are some promo ideas, and I've put 3 bullet points right here on how they can promote the video. Now that is an awesome use of AI and automation. So there you go, using one automation in N8N, I've backed up my video data to 4 different places: Airtable, Notion, Google Drive, and Trello. But what if you want to make an AI chatbot out of all of your YouTube information? Just imagine the hours of time you've spent making videos and talking, and all those transcripts that exist. Imagine you could store them somewhere where AI could access everything you've ever said and act as you. Yes, that's right. Using AI-powered databases, you can make this a reality. Now, if you just wanted to store your video content, you can stop the video now. If you want to get into RAG, some people call it RAG, or retrieval augmented generation, keep on watching. Now, I know this is a really complex subject, and my idea here is to try and make it as simple as possible for you to understand and get started. So I'm going to give you 3 methods to do RAG with your YouTube data, starting with the easiest and moving through to the hardest, but probably the best as well. Now, first of all, what is RAG in a vector database? I actually used AI to create this beautiful visualization of kind of what a vector database is and what it's doing. As you can see, it's 3D from that visualization. Now, most databases are flat. Essentially, they store data and it's one record after the next, flat. And in order for AI to find what it wants, it would have to search through every record. And obviously that's not efficient, especially when we've got small context windows. Retrieval augmented generation allows AI to go to certain areas that specialize in certain subjects. Imagine it as a 3D visualization of your brain where everything is stored in a similar place. So for instance, here in this demo, if I look at sushi and select it, you'll see it also connects through to Tokyo and Osaka. So you can see in this vector database, sushi is quite closely associated with Japan. Moreover, if I move over to this side and click Paris, you'll see it highlights croissants, ratatouille, and quoc au vin. I hope I said that right. I don't think I did. And I can click something else like Pad Thai, Chiang Mai, and Bangkok. All come up quite close together. So that's a vector database. 3D space to store all the things so that AI can go to one place and find the answer for the person who's asking a question. Let's see how to set it all up. And I'm going to start a new link to Pinecone Vector Store. Now, Pinecone, I would say, is the easiest vector database to set up if you simply want to store your YouTube content and do it easily. This is so user-friendly to get started. So let's see how this one works in action. Okay, I got started with Pinecone. It's free, by the way, to set up a basic account, and it's stored on their servers in the cloud, which is pretty cool. Getting started is super simple. You just click Database and Create Index, and you give it a name. So let's call it YouTube DB. And then we need to choose the dimensions. Now, that could be quite complex, but Pinecone makes it easy. You set up by the model you're going to be using. And in order to do vector and RAG, you need an embedding model. Now, you can use all kinds of different models, but I suggest starting with OpenAI. It's the easiest. And they've got two relatively new models, Embedding 3 Small and Embedding 3 Large. Now, just for this demo, I'm going to go for the Embedding 3 Small, and it knows all the dimensions and metrics and types, so you don't need to. Click that one, click Set Configuration, and then click Create Index. It's now setting up my database. As you can see, it's hosted on Amazon Web Services, and in just a moment, you'll see it set up with no records yet. So let's wire this back up in N8N. Okay, so we've gone into the Pinecone Vector Store setup here, and we just need to make sure we've connected our account, and then we can choose from a list. Look at that, YouTube DB pops up. So I've selected that now. All of my data is going to be put into that database. Okay, in our Pinecone data loader, we want to make sure we load all input data, which of course will be the transcript. And I wanted to add some metadata here, the YouTube ID. And this is grabbed here from video data. I've dragged and dropped that into the metadata. I can also add another property such as YouTube title if I like so, and then I can go ahead and grab the title, drag and drop. And you'll see here that yes, it's pulling in the title as well, which means not only will all of the content of my YouTube transcript go into the vector database, but it's also going to be tagged with a video ID and the video title. So if I want to then give my source when someone is chatting to my AI bot, that can easily be retrieved from the database. Okay, I've just zoomed in here so you can really see what I'm doing. So we've got the Pinecone Vector Store that is storing into the YouTube-DB. And then I've got the Pinecone Data Loader over here, which is pulling in YouTube ID and title, along with the input data, which is my transcript. And I've got Pinecone Embeddings. Yes, I'm using Text Embedding 3 Small from OpenAI, the same one as I set up with the database. And then finally, we've got the text splitter. Now, usually a transcript is quite a long bit of text, and AI can't handle all of that at once, so it splits it into manageable chunks that the embedding model will tag and put it into the right space in the vector database so AI can recall whatever it is it's being questioned about. And in the text splitter, we simply put a chunk size and a chunk overlap. Now, you can experiment with these numbers, but I've found in my experiments, 512 for the chunk size and 64 for the overlap works quite well. Oh, and just so you know, so I don't repeat myself, this works exactly the same for all the other databases I'm going to show you later on, including Supabase and Qdrant as well. So again, you'll see I've got the same embedding model selected here. The data loader will have all of that metadata that we need. And of course, the text splitter is set exactly the same, 512, 64 for all databases, so I don't need to repeat myself later on. Let's have a look here. Now, there are 0 records currently in my Pinecone database, so let's insert the first set of records. That will be the transcript from my latest YouTube video. Clicking Test Workflow, it's executing, it's going through, it's talking to the Pinecone database, it's using the embedding model, it's doing the splitting, it's done. Just in the time it took me to tell you that, it's done. Let's refresh the web page, and hopefully we've got a bunch of chunks over here, 29 records. There we go. Now you can see it's assigned a vector score, so it's put it somewhere in 3D space. And you'll see here, this is a bunch of gobbledygook. But if we say go in and edit one of the records, you will see actually it's got the vector values here, and it's got a bunch of information about it. But also, most importantly, here is a part of the transcript. You'll see only a small part of the transcript. It's also meta tagged it with the YouTube ID and title. This is great for source referencing at a later date. If you're liking what you see so far, you probably want to join my community. It's linked up down below, where I share all of the code and instructions to get this set up for yourself. That's how easy it is to do Pinecone. Let's look at the second easiest option, also hosted in the cloud and with a free plan. That's Supabase. Now Supabase is similar to Pinecone, but it's got a dark mode. My eyes feel revived. Okay, once you've set up your free account with Supabase, and I'll link that stuff down below, you can click New Project here. And you've set up your organization, hopefully, so you just give it a name. And let's call this YouTube DB again, and we can give the database a strong password. So I'm going to paste in a strong password. Now, with that done, you'll want to reveal the secret and copy it. And then in your Supabase Vector Store, you'll want to edit credentials, which you can see are currently not working, paste in that service role secret, click retry, and boom, we've got a connection successful. Okay, with that all set up, it's a little tougher to set up Supabase for retrieval augmented generation. There's no kind of how-to or quick start that's easily accessible, at least here in the starting page. You have to go through their documentation, and I eventually found this piece of code, which again, I'll link up in my how-to guide down below, and I copy that, and then I go back to Supabase, and I need to go to the SQL editor, paste in all that code, and run that code on my Supabase. With that done, you'll see success, no rows returned, but that's actually a good thing. If we now go back to the table editor, you'll see one documents database here with nothing in it. So it's set up Supabase for retrieval augmented generation, RAG. I'm really happy. Let's go back to NAN and configure it properly. So with credentials all working, make sure the table name is from list, and then look, it should automatically populate with one thing, and that one thing should be documents. And here it is. Select that, and that's now all working. Now, everything else here, including the embeddings, data loader, and Supabase text splitter, set up exactly the same as before with Pinecone. So I won't go over that again. We'll just give it a test and make sure it works. And running the workflow, you'll see straight away it goes to Supabase, it does the embeddings, it inserts it all in using the data loader and text splitter, and it tells me it's done. Oh, and look at that. Yes, we've got all of my transcript here and the metadata as well, and we can click into any record. So let's click into this record, and you'll see, yes, this is part of my transcript with yogurt, banana, nice cream instead of rice cream or ice cream. I don't know, maybe that's right. But also, most importantly, if we edit the JSON here, you'll see, yes, there's a YouTube ID and title that, again, we can use later for referencing. Now, I'm showing you multiple different databases, so you can pick the one that works for you. But of course, we've done easiest, we've done medium. Both of these are cloud solutions that are free and very generously free, but maybe you want something that's totally self-hosted and you have full power over. Now, disclaimer, it's the hardest of the bunch, but it's not that hard. Let's set up Qdrant to work with N8N. And again, the setup is exactly the same here in N8N as the previous databases, so no need to really change things around. If you set up one, you can copy the same thing for this. Let's get Qdrant installed. So I'm running a server in the cloud on Linode. By the way, if you want to self-host your own apps, you can use my link down below and get $100 of free credit to play with. You could also set it up on a local machine you're running at home. But once you're logged in, you'll simply create a directory. So let's make a directory called Qdrant where we're going to install this. And we'll cd into Qdrant like so. And then we just need to create one file. And that one file is docker compose.yaml. It's very, very easy, and we paste in all of this information. Now, this remains the same, and again, I'm going to give links down below to full tutorials with all of this information. So this is basically the setup configuration to run it on our local machine. One extra thing we need to do is have a super secret API key so we can access our instance. So Command X or Control X and Y, and then save by hitting enter, and you'll see that that file is now saved into the Qdrant directory. We now need to make an env file, and it's really easy because all we need to do is put in our API key we want to use. Super top secret, something that you're not going to share with anyone. That's what I've decided to put. Again, Control X, Y, enter, and that is saved. And the final command to run from the command line to get this working is docker compose up-d. And you'll see, hit enter, and boom, it's started the container as simply as that. Yes. Actually, before we go to the web browser, we can type docker logs Qdrant, and yes, you can see we've got data that's showing that it's all set up and it's working, and it even gives us a URL here to access it. Now, that is localhost. You'll either need the IP of your machine that you're hosting on, or you'll need a domain name, but that's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. I've already set that up, so let's try it out. Oh, look, it's asking me for that API key. Let's enter it here, apply, and now we're into Qdrant. That wasn't too difficult, really. And this is 100% self-hosted, so you own the data, which is great. Let's get set with Qdrant, and again, it's pretty easy to get started. You can use their quick start here, and I recommend it, and they give you a quick start to create a collection, which essentially is a database, and all we need to do is edit the code slightly, so rather than calling the collection star charts, we'll call it YouTube DB as being the theme through this video. And now we do need to change the size. This is very important, otherwise it won't work. Now, if we're using the OpenAI embedding model 3 small, then all we need to do is type 1536 here. But I'm feeling large. Let's use the OpenAI embedding 3 large model to do the most accurate vector embeddings possible. 3072 is what you'll need to enter if you want to use large. and 1536 for small. Click run and that's it. That's all you need to do. And now if we go to the collections area over here, you'll see YouTube DB is set up. The status is green, meaning it's running. We've got the size as 3072, so everything should work okay. We can click into it and see there's absolutely nothing here just yet. Okay, and with everything set up, let's test and see if this works. It's going to go through, get all of my lovely YouTube data, and here it goes to the Qdrant vector store. You'll see there's a problem here. It's expected 3072 but got 1536. So what I need to do is make sure I've changed my embedding model, which I think I left on the OpenAI small, and indeed I did. So let's make it large. And now seamless, everything is done, everything is embedded. Let's go to my self-hosted instance, click into the YouTube database, and here are all the vectors beautifully entered into my self-hosted Qdrant. So I own this data, this is hosted on my machine, and I can run RAG now using this and an AI chatbot to have you chat with all of the content on my YouTube channel. Pretty phenomenal, right? Oh, and by the way, if you don't want to mess around at the command line, N8N actually created a really cool AI starter kit that I'll link down below. It installs everything from N8N to that Qdrant database to get you started, so you don't have to mess around with everything. It's all done for you. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and stick around, throw a like, subscribe, because my next video is going to show you how to make that AI chatbot that retrieves the information we've stored away in those vector databases and allows people to chat with a virtual avatar of you. If you really want to see that video, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, and YouTube is showing something somewhere on your screen now. It's a video that you should probably go and watch next. Thanks.